Final update, I came for Easter but my dad said, don't interfere with a real family spending time together. Then I said, okay, just don't wait for my $12,300 to pay your mortgage. Dad didn't believe me and Mom laughed. I canceled everything, even bills. But 6 days later, when it was time to pay, they came to beg me. I slammed the door in front of them and then, Jason was still keeping tabs, and people still whispered when they thought no one was listening. That they'd been kicked out of the motel after my dad threw a TV remote at a desk clerk. That they spent a week couch, hopping between two guys who ran a pool, cleaning business and sold vape cartridges out of the back of a van. That my mom tried to guilt a food pantry into giving her extra bags by telling them her son had cut her off after years of abuse. She didn't say who was abusing who. They finally made it to the edge of the next town. Some low-income apartments near a highway overpass, the kind that always had broken blinds and cigarette butts in the flower beds. They couldn't qualify for a lease on their own, so they moved in with an old drinking buddy of my dad's who collected disability and ran an illegal poker game out of his kitchen. Jason drove by the place and said it looked like a halfway house that no one was halfway through. I didn't gloat, I didn't post anything, but I kept every photo, every voicemail, every text. I made a folder, printed out letters, receipts, bank statements, copies of her messages to people behind my back. It sat in a drawer in my office labeled, in case they ever try again. They didn't. Relatives stopped mentioning them. My Aunt Helen sent a final message a few weeks later, just a vague 2-sentence apology and something about God healing wounds. I never responded, neither did Jason. No one did, and then it was as if they disappeared. My dad, once the loudest guy at every barbecue, was now just a rumor that people lowered their voices to mention. My mom, who used to insist we take 10 pictures before dessert so she could post them with the hashtag #BeenBlessed, didn't even have an active Facebook account anymore. They were deleted, not by me, but by their own choices. Every bridge they set on fire, burned down to the riverbed. There wasn't even smoke left. I finished the renovations in silence, painted the walls a different color, replaced the front door, donated the old furniture. There was a moment, quiet, brief, when I thought about inviting people over, maybe hosting something. But I let it pass. This wasn't a place for gatherings. Not yet. Maybe never. This house was their trophy, their leverage, their reminder of where I came from and how much I supposedly owed them. Now it was mine. Not as a gift. As a victory. I wasn't proud of how far things had gone, but I wasn't sorry either. They chose the game. I just played it better. And somewhere out there, my parents sat in someone else's apartment, probably still spinning a new version of the story. One where they were the victims. Where their son betrayed them. Where they never got what they deserved. But they did. They absolutely did. Update 1. 4 months passed. The house was quiet now in a way I'd never experienced before. No banging, no screaming, no guilt woven into every wall. Just silence and space. I bought a rail bed, hung curtains, let sunlight in. I even planted 2 trees in the backyard, something about putting down roots, I guess. I didn't hear from them for a while. No sightings, no drama, no news from extended family. They'd become ghosts. And I was fine with that. Then one night I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail, half expecting a scammer or a wrong number. But curiosity got the better of me. I played it. It was my father's voice. It sounded different, not angry, not proud, just flat. He said he was calling from a borrowed phone. That they'd been kicked out again. That his friend had kicked them out after my mom accused the guy's girlfriend of stealing her purse. They'd lived in a car for 2 weeks, sleeping in parking lots, eating fast food once a day, splitting it. He